What's up guys, it's Jason here, and today I've got a video for you about what to expect during the winter months in real estate. By that I mean November to February, what to expect as a seller, what to expect as a buyer, and how I can help. Let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and jump right into the data. So right here, we're going to be looking at days on market versus the sold to list price ratio. So let's look at days on market on the left here first. So over the winter months from last year, November 23 to February of 24, you can see there's a sharp spike peaking in February for days on market. So that's just about 80 days on average. And what does that mean? It means that in the month of February, homes that sold took about 80 days on the market to sell. That is an extremely long time. And you can see as it starts to move more towards springtime, we see it go down and down and down, meaning that homes are selling faster. So in the winter months, there's seasonality that you have to contend with. You know, the holidays, people don't really look to make a move around that time, but the people that do are dead serious about doing it. So if we look over here on the right-hand side to the sold to list ratio, what this means, let me just give you an example. If you wanted to sell your house for $100,000 and you accepted an offer and ultimately sold for $95,000, you would have a 95% sold to list price ratio. So if we look at the same time frame from last year, November 23 to February 24th, what you'll notice here is it's almost the opposite of what we just saw. Days on market increased during that time and sold to list ratio decreased. So what does that mean? It means as your home sits on the market longer, it starts to sell at a lesser price. So why is this important? Well, put yourself in the shoes of a buyer for a second. You go to look at a home on the market. It's been on the market for 80 days and it hasn't accepted an offer. Would you think that that home is in great condition or is being sold at a fair price, or neither of those things? Probably neither, right? You start to think that something's wrong with the home, that it's too expensive, all of these things. This is the psychological component involved in pricing of a home. On the flip side, let's say you're a buyer and you go into a home that you like on day one. Are you incentivized at that point to give a really good offer the first day it's on the market? Yeah, you betcha. What does that tell you? As a seller, you are racing against time. The longer your home sits, the less it's worth in the eyes of a buyer. So let's take a look at some market dynamics for the Keller Williams office from this last year. Now, what this data shows you is the comparison between no price change versus one or more price changes on a home. Okay? So for the Keller Williams office of October of this year, there was 326 units sold, with an average sold price list price ratio of 98.6% and an average days on market of 17 days, just a little over 2 weeks. You compare that to homes that have one or more price changes, 181 units sold, 97.4 sold price list price ratio, and an average days on market of 69 days. That is 4 times longer. This data shows you crystal clear that homes that sell do so quickly and for more money. The homes that sit do so for less money. So what does this data mean? So whenever you're a seller looking to price your home, there's basically 2 schools of thought about it. One, you can position yourself against the market, price aggressively against your competition, and make your home the obvious choice. That is how you end up on the left side. If you intend to price your home higher than what the market deems it's worth, with the intention of dropping it if it doesn't sell, the data shows you here, not only will you get less, but you're going to sit on the market for a very long time. The key thing that this data does not show you are the number of homes that don't even sell at all. And this is a big deal. We call these homes expired listings. This is data that I pulled from October of this year. you can see here, 174 homes in the southern Missouri region expired in the month of October. Now, I highlighted here just the averages for you, just to give you an idea. Average 3-bed, 2-bath home that expired had an original list price of roughly $460,000. Its average days on market here, 183 days. That is 6 months, with price changes nearing 8%. It is so important to price your home correctly right out the gate. If you don't, the data from before shows you that when you have a price change or more, you're just going to make less money and sit a little bit longer. But worst case scenario, your listing expires. And let me tell you, I talk to people whose homes expired every single day, and they are not happy at all. Not happy at all. They are devastated. They're confused. And it happens for multiple reasons. A large majority of the time, it's due to a lack of communication and knowledge of their agent. A smaller but very prominent portion of the time, it's due to the unrealistic expectations of the seller in regards to the pricing of their home. The best way to stay as far away from expired listing as you can is to get with an agent who knows this data, who uses this data to make informed decisions with you, and you make your home the obvious choice. So I just wanted to show you for a second some data from the Keller Williams Springfield office and how it stacks up to the marketplace. So if we remember from earlier, the average days on market for February of this year for the southern Missouri region was nearly 80 days. Our Keller Williams office is sitting at 35 days on market. That is less than half. What does that tell you? Well, Keller Williams agents are trained on this data. We look at this data. We know how important it is to price your home correctly the first time. And what does that mean? It means when you have a meeting with me and we talk about selling your home, it's coming from a place of honesty. I will not try to tell you what you want to hear. My job as an agent isn't to convince you to sell your home. It's to help you sell it once you've made that decision, and do so armed with the knowledge that I've showed you here. And the results of that, I think, speak for themselves. So what are some takeaways for us today? Well, November to February, the winter months, they're going to be a little bit slower. You're going to have typically longer days on market, and you might have a lower list to sold price ratio. That could just be because of seasonality, but it could also be because of poor marketing and ultimately price. So what are some opportunities for sellers? So with homes sitting on the market for a longer period of time, it gives you a great chance to use those listings to price your home more aggressively and use the competition to make you the obvious choice. That is a huge opportunity. Also, the buyers looking at this time, they are serious. They're not just walking around going to open houses and stuff like that. They want to move because they need to, okay? And, let's say that this isn't the right time for you to sell. The winter months are a great time to do some home repairs or some renovations. That way, whenever you are ready in the spring or summertime, you are that much more prepared to be the obvious choice. So what are some opportunities for buyers as well during these winter months? So time is against the sellers, meaning that the longer the home sits on the market, the more leverage you have in the negotiations. And that is a big deal when you're considering costs for repairs or having sellers help cover some of the closing costs. So how can I help sellers during this time? So first off, we want to make your home the obvious choice. And how we'll do that is I will do a comparative market analysis to determine a price range for your home. From there, we'll do an expired listing exercise to where we'll compare the features and benefits of homes that have ended up on the expired list and use that to help price your home even better. Then we'll use my price bracketing system to position your home in such a way that it will appeal to the broadest range of buyers for your home. Again, with the ultimate goal of making your home the obvious choice. So how can I help buyers during this time? So we always start buyers off with a strategy session. That's when we talk about your wants, your needs, and ultimately the deal breakers. Can set you up on a search via the MLS to send you listings that meet your criteria. I can survey the active listings in the areas that you like, but I can also go back and survey the expired listings. This is something that a lot of people don't even know that they can do. I can survey and get in contact with listings that had expired that match your criteria to see if we can find you an off-market deal. And then we can leverage the days on market potentially to get you a better price. Because the most important thing is that we find you a good home with a payment that you can afford. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. I hope you learned something about the market during these winter months and kind of what to expect. If you have any questions at all, or if you're planning on making a move during that time, feel free to reach out to me, email, text, call, whatever floats your boat. I'll be there to answer your questions and help you through that process. See you next week.